Hello everyone, good evening. So we will continue with the topic where I mentioned last class that we are going to discuss about biological diversity topic, ecosystem services, and those topics will be taken in today's class. I told in the last class that we are going to cover important areas from both the examination perspective, prelims exam at the same time the main examination. So today's class is going to be very important. Whatever I'll teach on the whiteboard, right, you have to copy down in your note copy, and one by one I will go into many areas. So today I will be again discussing theory part. Along with theory part, I will also cover application areas. So let us start with the subject here. So our first topic here is on, we have discussed about on ecosystem, about what is ecosystem, right? We have covered the topic on flow of energy, structure of ecosystem, biotic interaction, ecological succession, right? We have covered all this topic, ecosystem productivity. So all what I have given you on the first day, the handout, I have gone into all such topics there, right? So I have already covered in the previous class all the topics which I have given there. Plus we have also covered biogeochemical cycle. So somebody in your batch was saying to, to follow the Vision IS study material. So whatever I am teaching in the classroom is as per Vision IS study material, right? Whatever topics I am covering on the whiteboard, whatever I am discussing on the whiteboard, it's all given in your Vision IS study material. Whatever points I am writing on the board which you are copying down in your note copy is also kind of a class notes only, right? It will give you a kind of a notes to revise before the examination. Alright, so we will start with the subject one by one, we will go into that. So now we are going to learn in the classroom a topic called ecosystem services, and we will connect this topic with the biodiversity value. This ecosystem services, this topic will be connected to biodiversity values there. Once I define the biodiversity in all areas, we will cover with this part of it. Now ecological system, whether forest or agriculture land or even aquaculture pond, we get a lot of benefits from there. We get a lot of resources from ecological systems there. So one study was conducted, that is a Millennium Ecosystem Assessment Report. United Nations conducted a study where 1,360 experts participated in the study. It was started in the year 2001, and 2005 this MA report was brought, Millennium Ecosystem Assessment Report was brought, where the evaluation of ecological system and all this were done. Now Millennium Ecosystem Assessment Report here defines services what we get from ecosystems into 4 broad categories. So I am defining here. So it has divided the services into following categories. The first one is called provisioning services. The first one called here provisioning service. Second comes here, it is called regulating services. Third service which is offered by ecosystem, that is here supporting services. And fourth one is here cultural services. These are the 4 categories under which services offered by ecosystems have been studied and categorized. Now let us look into all these areas. The first one which I am bringing here, that is the provisioning service. What do you mean provisioning services? What is being provided to human beings from ecological systems? What we as a human beings get from ecological systems here. So here is the example. If you take the example here, let's say food, right? Rice, wheat, vegetables, fruits, right? We get a number of food items coming from plants, right? Crops and plants, we are getting that. So this is being provided from agricultural land. Agricultural land is an ecosystem, right? Then coming to here, medicines. Various type of medicines we get from medicinal plants. Like for example, Taxol. Taxol is obtained from Taxus wallichiana. There is a tree called Taxus wallichiana. There is a grown in Himalayan range, and there is a drug. There is a medicine called Taxol, which is a anti-cancer drug for treatment of ovarian cancer. Right, for treatment of ovarian cancer is a anti-cancer drug. I'll give you another example. You all are familiar with that. From the bark of cinchona tree, right? There is a very important molecule which we get, which is anti-malarial. What is called quinine? Quinine, Quinine. Quinine is anti-malarial drug, right? Very interesting. I'll tell you here. First, Yuvraj Singh, right? Cricketer Yuvraj Singh was advertising that product, but then Yuvraj Singh got some lung cancer or something, so he left there. Then Sallu Mian came, Salman Khan. Salman Khan came into the ad of that product, and in the ad Salman Khan mentioned something. Then Salman Khan got replaced by Akshay Kumar. So I am talking about a brand product, Revital. Revital. I am very sure you may be aware of this name, brand name, Revital, where presently Akshay Kumar is the brand ambassador. Revital is by Ranbaxy company, right? Indian company Ranbaxy makes the Revital. In the Revital, there is one type of ingredient called as ginseng. Ginseng. Ginseng is obtained from Himalayan plant ginseng and is used for stamina booster, which is added in the Revital. So there are a lot of examples are there. Ginseng, ashwagandha, right? Then you can take example of even neem has got medicinal property, quinine anti-malarial, Taxol anti-cancerous. There are a lot of things, a lot of drugs we obtain from medicinal plants, and they come from trees and plants. That's what is called is a provisioning service. Then timber. Forest provides timber, ebony, mahogany, right, shisham, teak, right, all this we get from forest, right. Even there are non-timber forest produce, NTFP, or what is called minor forest produce, dyes, resin, rubber. So there are a lot of things are there which ecosystem providers. They are called provisioning services. Now regulating services. What ecosystem regulates? What ecosystem controls? So like one is the climate moderation. Moderation of the climate. Climate moderation is done by ecosystem. Then we have discussed in the classroom here carbon cycle, water cycle, nitrogen cycle, all nutrient cycling there. So again here in terms of cycling of nutrient, this one recycling of waste material. What comes here? Recycling of waste material. Wetlands. Just an example. Wetlands. Wetlands can filter. Wetlands can filter and remove the waste. There are certain type of plants which can filter out waste material, right? So that's where the removal of waste. Then control of flood. Control of flood and drought, right? Control of flood and drought. That again can be done by trees and plants. Prevention of soil erosion, right? Prevention of soil erosion. Then supporting services. What ecosystem supports? It provides habitat, right? It provides a habitat for living organism, right? Then it also supports food chain, food web pyramids. All these are done through supporting services. Even nutrient cycle, carbon cycle, water cycle, all the nutrient cycling, that is again done through biotic interaction, how the living organism interact. Again, these all are supporting services. Now coming to cultural services, right? Cultural values. attached with ecosystem, right? I'll just give you example here. There's very famous, kind of, you can say, religious activity by Hindu women, and all the ladies in the classroom may be aware of that. What Savitri? What Savitri? Right? What is What Savitri? What Savitri is that a Hindu, married woman, right? Pray to the Yama, right? Lord Yama, Yamraj, for the life of the husband, right? So what, when you say what is a banyan tree? What refers to a banyan tree? Then you know very famous TV serial there, Tulsi Tere Angan Ki, Tulsi. And during COVID-19, you know that people have taken so much of kadha, right, for throat, kadha and all this, right? Tulsi, right? Tulsi there. So what I want to say here, there's some type of religious aspect linked with ecosystem, right? It may be a tree, it may be a forest. I'll give you one very good example. There's a concept of sacred forest or sacred groves. And I'll give you one very good example. India has got so many sacred forests all throughout the country. And it's a very, very important topic. You could get question in the examination. UPSC can ask you question from sacred forest. I'll give you example here. Kerala. All of you from in the batch, if there are any students who come from Kerala, there is a Kavu, K-A-V-U, Kavu, right? Sarpa Kavu. You'll find in Kerala, in the backyard of the home, right? The worship of snake god, right? Snake god, that is what is called Sarpa Kavu. So let me write here. For example, here in Kerala, there is Sarpa Kavu, right? That is a sacred forest. Then I'll give you another example. Pavitra Vana in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, that area, you'll find Pavitra Vana. Meghalaya, when you go to Garo Hills, Garo, Khasi, Jaintia, the 3 hills and 3 tribes of Meghalaya, again you have a sacred forest, right, where the local people, local community, they worship the forest, right? And the students who are in this batch coming from Jharkhand, in Jharkhand there is a tribe called Munda tribe, right? Those of you who are coming from Jharkhand, there is a tribe called Munda tribe. And Munda tribe, they have a god called Singa Bonga. That's a very unique name, Singa Bonga. In Jharkhand, Santhal Pargana, there is a place called Santhal Pargana, and there the Munda tribe of Jharkhand, they worship Singa Bonga. Who is Singa Bonga? Singa Bonga is the god of spirits. आत्माओं का देवता है वो, right? Is the god of Atma, souls. And what this tribe people believe, after death, the soul, the spirit, that goes to that forest. There is a sacred forest is there. After death of any person in the village, the soul, the spirit, goes to that particular forest and live in that forest. So their grandfather, great grandfather, all the holy spirits are living in that forest. And every year they do the worship. They do the worship of that forest. And Singa Bonga is the god of all the holy spirits in that particular forest. So these are beliefs. Whether you as a man with scientific temperament believe or don't believe, right? It is a belief, it is a customary rights, beliefs of local tribe, right? There's so many local communities, there's so many local tribes in India. They have their own kind of beliefs, they have their own kind of faiths, they have their own kind of system of worship, right? Though in India today a debate is going on whether they are Hindus or Christians or whatever may be that, right? But those people are aborigine, they are primitive, they have religion, primitive religion, aborigine, and they worship nature worship, right? That's where the culture comes. I'm talking about cultural aspect from that point of view. I'm very sure you would have seen a movie, Avatar, right? You have seen this movie, James Cameron movie, Avatar, where there is a alien planet, Navi. Navi as an alien planet. And there in that movie, if you, all of you who have watched that movie, Avatar, you'll see that there is a big tree. There's a huge big tree shown in that movie, Avatar movie of James Cameron. And you'll find in that alien planet, everybody has got a tail. They have a tail of that battery charger. So they put the battery charger as a tail in the tree, right? And the tree is a life giver. The tree provides life. So this concept of that tree in the movie Avatar, the Hollywood movie Avatar, is again Oriental. The concept has come from Oriental concept. So that's what it says. There are lakhs of Pavitra Vana, there are lakhs of sacred forests in India. Cultural aspect of that. Sometimes festival, festival also maybe is part of there, where the people worship based on agricultural land. Bihu in Assam, Pongal in Tamil Nadu, Onam in Kerala, God's own country, God's own country, Kerala. You find all the three religions, Hindus, Muslims and Christians, right? They're divided equally there. And I've been going to Kerala so many times, right? Only during this time of COVID-19, I'm not traveling to Kerala, but otherwise Trivandrum, Kollam, Kottayam, I've got to everywhere, right? You'll find a mandir, you'll find a mosque, you'll also find a church. God's own country. It's a wonderful state. I've been so many times, I've been visited to that place and seen that. So there Onam is a state festival of Kerala, right? So festival which celebrate water bodies, which celebrate agriculture land. So whether it's a Bihu or Pongal or Onam or Lodi or Baisakhi, all these are based on the ecosystem, right? All these are based on the ecosystem which I'm connecting there. So please copy this one, and this all see here. Whatever I'm discussing here, please do write that. It is given in your note copy, in your printed notes also. Vision IS, please write that. All right. So please write this. I'll see your doubts. Whatever doubts you have, I'll just see your doubts. But please copy this flow chart. Please copy this flow chart. Now let's see here. I'll take you to Millennium. This report there. This is a report here. Millennium Ecosystem Assessment Report, which was commissioned by the UN, and you can see here what is given here. I'll just zoom out so that people can see here. This report, Millennium Ecosystem Assessment Report, right? That was when UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, right? He asked that in 2000, and in the year 2001, this MA study was started, right? And what was the study objective of that? To assess the consequences of ecosystem change for human well-being and the scientific basis for action needed to enhance the conservation and sustainable use of ecosystems and contribution to human well-being, right? That's where the Millennium Ecosystem Assessment Report was done there. So you'll find that this is the website here where I've just discussed about this ecosystem assessment report, right? This is based on whatever I have written on the whiteboard: provisioning services, regulating services, supporting services, cultural services. This all is given on this particular report. And already Upsc has asked question. There was already a question asked in the examination on this particular concept there. Let's watch a video. Then I'll take your doubts there.
From food, clean water and flood protection to cultural heritage and a sense of place in the world, ecosystems provide essential benefits or services to us all. These benefits are as diverse as they are numerous and are categorized into the type of service they provide. From provisioning services like those from plants, to regulating services like those provided by wetlands, and pollination of crops. Then there are supporting services which underpin all other services. And finally, there are cultural services, such as valuable benefits of spending time in nature. For much of recent human history, these ecosystem services have been overlooked, while increasing human pressures are threatening these vital systems. Across the world, fish stocks are overexploited. Air pollution is an increasing problem. Vast areas of tropical forests are destroyed. Tons of soil are eroded each year. Globally, the ecosystems we rely on are under threat, with 60% experiencing worrying declines. So how can we protect these services for future generations? Decades of research and practice show that rich biodiversity is fundamental for healthy ecosystems. So the question is, can the ecosystem service approach help protect biodiversity? Let's look at a real-world example. Imagine a national policy to plant 15,000 hectares of new woodland in the UK. If we only consider the market value of timber, the cost of planting this forest would appear to outweigh the benefit. So the project might not go ahead. But this may be a good thing, as planting would be on the cheapest upland areas, which produce a lot of currently unvalued services such as water storage and purification. If, however, we included in our calculations all those other benefits that trees provide for us, we might cite trees in lowlands where these benefits could be optimized, which will increase overall costs by displacing profitable farmland, but which can return far greater benefits. In this situation, the usefulness of this approach is clear. However, monetary value is only one tool in the ecosystem services toolbox. And making one service more productive, increasing its monetary value, doesn't necessarily mean that other services will flourish or that biodiversity will be protected. If we think of a large area of land growing strawberries, in monetary terms the service and value is high, but overall biodiversity is low. What's more, genetically identical crops are less able to adapt, and so are more vulnerable to diseases, pests, and a changing climate. And sometimes we don't realise the true value a certain species may have. If we think of the common snowdrop found throughout Europe, but now on the near-threatened IUCN Red List, recently it has been found to contain an alkaloid approved for treatment of Alzheimer's disease, and its effects against HIV are also being studied. But what about those benefits which do not have a monetary market value? It seems impossible to quantify the intrinsic values of nature, such as a feeling of seeing and hearing wild birds. However, two approaches used to account for less readily monetized values include revealed preference. If we look at the typical purchases of a bird watcher, the costs of the associated things they spend money on can provide a monetary approximation of the way the service is valued. Then there is stated preference. For example, we might use willingness to pay methods, surveying people about how much they would be willing to pay to create a particular ecosystem, or how much compensation they would be willing to accept for its loss. However, this assumes that all these values are preformed in people's minds, and that societally shared values are a simple aggregation of personal preferences. We know that neither of these assumptions is true, so other techniques are needed to capture more deeply held values. Monetary valuation is not an open door to commodify and degrade nature. It is not a perfect picture, but it is one way to insert non-economic values into the decision-making system. But there remains an essential difference between price and value. Crude money equivalents cannot capture the range of human values or the significance of non-marketed services, so informed judgment is always required to make robust and equitable decisions. Ecosystem services can work alongside other tools to prioritize resources, raise awareness of the substantial benefits provided by ecosystems, and create a common language to protect biodiversity and the many human benefits that stem from it, ensuring future wealth and abundance beyond mere monetary terms.
now you can see here, this is the sacred forest, sacred groves of Kerala, what I mentioned there, and you have seen in the video that cultural aspect of that. What you can see here, this is the sacred groves of Kerala, right? They are remnants of the evergreen forest patches, and they are protected and conserved based on the religious belief and part of the, and there are many endangered and all the species are there, and they are found in the forest of Western Ghats, right? And they are called here, see here, in Kerala, it is common practice among Hindus to assign a part of their land near the Tharabadu or house as the abode of goddess Durga or serpent god Naga or Sashta, what is called as a Kavu or Sarp Kavu, right? That's where you have this part of it, and I can show you the photograph there. This is how it looks like. This is how you will find Sarp Kavu or sacred forest, that it looks like there, right? And they're untouched. The local people will not disturb such kind of forest there. You'll find this is on the Western Ghats there, right? And there's also art called Thayyam, right? Thayyam art and all, you'll find that. And sacred groves of Kerala, you'll find all this information there. But there is not only this one. See here, if I just take you to here, let's say for example of Andhra Pradesh. Throughout India, every state, they have this kind of sacred forest there, right? You'll find this is the part of, you'll find there. Southern Eastern Ghat, right? You'll find here sacred grove of Punyagiri Hill, right? This is from Andhra Pradesh, you'll find that, right? Vijayanagaram district, the Punyagiri, there you have a sacred forest, and UPSC can ask you question there, right? UPSC can definitely ask you question on this sacred forest, right? Now you can see here, again this is right up there. See why I am bringing out such kind of case study, because UPSC exam has changed. Now UPSC exam is not a bookish exam. UPSC exam can be asked, the question can be asked from anywhere, and you can see here repository endangered. See what is given. Sacred groves are important repositories of rare, endangered, endemic plants and floral diversity that have been conserved by local people or communities in a sustainable manner, right? This is what you have there. I'll take you to that one also, like here this one. I mentioned in the classroom Munda tribe, right? And this what I mentioned Singa Bonga, that is a god they believe, right? They have this kind of their. Odisha state also has got the Munda tribe, and they have the Munda, Ho, Santhals, right? So they have this one, right? You will find that they have this kind of now this is a tribal depository. You will find they have a tribe also known as Singabonga. They are called Singabonga also there. So this is from the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. I am referring to that, right? So you'll find all this kind of it, and they have been part of even Meghalaya. You'll find here Sacred Forest of Meghalaya. I am doing all this Google search to just to make you aware that such kind of sacred forests lie all throughout the country, right? All throughout the country you'll find that. And you can see here, this is the Meghalaya government website, and it is given here, right? What is given here are the tracts of virgin forest, untouched forest, left untouched by the local inhabitants, and are protected by the people due to their culture and religious belief. And forest is an ecosystem, right? There are sacred groves of relic, vegetation and all this, right? This is again you will find here. Khasi Hill, Jantia Hills of Meghalaya has got this kind of thing there, right? This is what you find here. And one of the very important one, this one, Maflang, Sacred Grove, located East Khasi Hills, district 25 kilometers of Shillong, capital of Meghalaya, Shillong there, right? And they worship the local deity called Labasa. The local deity called Labasa. Sometimes in UPSC exam, there are surprise questions. There are surprise questions which can be part of, and you can see here. This is how the sacred forest looks like. Nobody will disturb that forest. Maflang forest, and then nobody will disturb that kind of forest there. All right. So this is where I am trying to link with the areas, right, so that you are aware of this part and you could get question on that. So what I mentioned on the whiteboard, right, this provisioning service and all, these are important for the examination, and you could easily get the question in the exam, right. You can easily get the question in the examination there. All right. So let's say, for example, if I ask a question, right, let me go into question here, right, let me take certain questions in the classroom there, which you can understand in that case. Let's say here, KBC questions there. कौन बनेगा सिविल सर्वेंट्स, राइट, and let me ask you certain question that, let's say question number 1 is that, which of following is not supporting service of an ecosystem. Let's say if I give you a question like this one, right, which of this is not there, right, and let's say I am giving you a choice here. I will now give you the choice here, right. Let me provide you choice here, not a supporting services, right. Let's say for example, climate regulation, right. Second I am giving here, or let's say educational and let's say recreational. Activities there. Then I am giving here, let's say here, primary productivity. We have already covered in the classroom what is the primary productivity, what is secondary productivity there, right. Then let's say I am giving the fourth choice here, that is a ornaments, right, and I am asking here, the question is not a supporting service, not supporting services of them, right. So let's say question here, so 1 only, let's say here 1 and 2 only, right. Then let's say here I am giving here 1, 2 and 4 only, and let's say all of them 1, 2 and 3 and 4. So what will be answer here? Let me see the response. What will be answer here? Let's say this question comes in the exam. What shall be the answer here? What shall be the answer here? What shall be the answer here? Let's say this question comes in the exam about the ecosystem services. So what answer you will take that? Good, very good. Good, very good. Good, good. Excellent. That's true. That's really true there. Good, very good. Most of you are correct there. Most of you are correct there. Yes, very good. Good. So the answer, see, climate regulation is a regulating services. This is a regulating service, right? Then again, this one, ornaments, medicine, food. There is a provisioning services. There is a provisioning service, right? Now educational part and all, right? Educational part, right? Educational part. If you look at educational part and recreational part, that is a educational cultural services. There is a part of cultural services, right? This is cultural services. Whereas the primary productivity, nutrient recycling, biodiversity, now this is the supporting services. This is supporting service. Question is not, so the answer will be C. Here answer is C. C as an answer. Right? You all are correct. The answer will be C here. You all are correct in that case. And I'll take you to this part. Let's see here. Your visionized material. I have given the question from the visionized material. In your visionized material, and you can clearly see that this handout is from the first class, the document which I have given there. That this is the from same document of Vision IAS classroom study material. Right, Vision IAS classroom study material, which I have shared in the very first class. Based on that, it is given here. Say, provisioning services, products obtained from ecosystem, regulating services, benefits obtained from regulation of ecosystem processes, culture services, non-material benefit obtained from ecosystem, and I have given from here supporting services, services necessary for the production of all other ecosystem services. Right. So here, if you see here, this all. Right, all these are connected to the, and you can see here medicinal plants and all is from the visionized material. Right, these are the medicinal plants, and it's given here natural capital. What is natural capital? It includes those elements of nature that provide us valuable goods and services to humans. Right, forest, food, clean air, water. These are called natural capital. So it has a set of services provided by ecosystems, and is necessary for economic growth, employment, and also prosperity there, right? And now there is a accounting for that. We can have accounting for that, right? Environmental accounting can be done there. How much benefit we get from there, right? We can use that part of the accounting system there. I'll be coming to this part, but again the question what I gave here, right? The question I gave here, this is the part which I have given here. Now let's come to the next question here. Now I'm coming to question number 2. Let's say you get a question here, which of following statements are correct with respect to, let's say you get another this kind of question with respect to sacred groves found in India. Let's say you get this kind of question in the UPSC prelims exam, right? And I am giving the statement here, first one. Sacred groves are protected under Forest Conservation Act, under Forest Conservation Act 1980. Number 2, sacred forests or sacred groves house many endemic means only found there, nowhere else, many endemic species, right? And third statement, sacred groves are found only in the Western Ghats and Northeast India. Let's say I am giving a question like this, right? And I am giving the choice here, 1 and 2, two only, 2 and 3, and let's say here 1, 2 and 3. What will be answer here? Now tell me the answer here. What will be answer of this question? Let's say you get a question in the prelims exam and the question comes here. So what will be answer here? If this kind of question comes in the exam, what shall be the answer here of this question there? Good, very good. I can see all your responses there. That's really good here. Good, very good. Good. Smriti is giving A as an answer. I go to Smriti, 1 and 2 are correct there. Okay. There Pranav Kumar is also giving A as an answer. Anshul Mishra is giving B as an answer. Khushbu Kumar is giving A as an answer. Now question is that whether sacred groves are protected under Forest Conservation Act 1980. Does it come under any law? Right? Now see, statement number 2 is correct, that is right. Statement 2, that is correct, you are right there. And third is wrong, you know that sacred forest found throughout the country. Right? Throughout the country, it comes into that. What shall be the answer here? Jyoti Chauhan is giving A as an answer. Giridhar Ramraj Chauhan is giving B as an answer. So I am getting the answer A and B and all this part of it. So what should be the answer here? Does it comes under the Forest Conservation Act? Like Anumula Nagasai, he is saying that 2002 Amendment Act. But that is which Amendment Act? Is that Wildlife Protection Act? Right, that is the Wildlife Protection Act. But does it come under Forest Conservation Act? Now the question is that, see, after Naga has given, and there are students who started changing the option. Right, the students started changing their options there. It is a very important question, and this is the way UPSC will ask the question there. This is the way UPSC will ask you question in the exam. Right, you will get question in the examination of this type. Either you know or you don't know. Now let's look at here. Just see here. The introduction of Wildlife Protection Act, Amendment Act of 2002 provides government protection of these lands and also religion based on contain many sacred groves. A strong concentration of these groves are found in Himachal Pradesh and Kerala. Right? This you will find in this website. Right? Outlook India. Now see here. The introduction of Wildlife Protection Act, which was amended in the year 2002, there it has been given there. Right, this is what you have, the sacred forest. Sacred forest, you can see that. And now see, very important one. Sacred forests are protected by locals and NGOs often. Now many are also protected under the law. See here, many are also protected under the law. Right? Under the law. Now you can see here, this is all which comes in Maharashtra, right? Maharashtra, see here, Ratnagiri, Raigad, Kolhapur, Bihar, Sarna in Bihar, you will find that. Rajasthan, Kankaris of Ajmer, Vanis of Mewad, Meghalaya again, I have already mentioned that. Right? Kerala and all, Ernakulam and all, you will find that. So what is given here? Protected on religious grounds. These areas of natural vegetation are nurtured to create wonderful patches of greenery. Right? And they are now recognized under Wildlife Protection Amendment Act 2002. But does it comes under Forest Conservation Act? Does it come under that? Now my question is that, does it comes under Forest Conservation Act? Will you take this Forest Conservation Act 1980, where I have given the law? Wildlife Amendment Act is all right, but will you take this one? Right. So this is wrong. This is wrong there. Now this is correct. This part 2 is correct. And again, found only in Northeast India and Western Ghat, that comes into that. So the answer is B. What is the answer here? Answer of this question is B. Right? The answer is B. Here the answer will be B is the answer. Clear here? All of you are able to understand here? The answer will be B here. It will come under the answer B here. Right? So I will now come to the whiteboard. I hope you all have copied it. So I have taken the two questions here. Now I am coming to the whiteboard here. I am again getting back to the whiteboard here, and we will discuss all those areas there. Right? So I hope that this you are able to understand. You are able to understand all these areas which I have discussed in the classroom. And again remember that whatever topics I am going to cover in today's class, they are really very, very important. And I have told that every class I am going to bring something new which is not there in the current affair material. You will not find in current affair material. All those topics will be brought by me in the classroom there. So whichever current affair material you refer or read, that is separate thing. But when you are in regular batch and when a teacher is discussing about some concept and linking the concept with the part of some practical aspect, newspaper and the magazine and report, you gain a lot of things there, right? Now what I am coming here, now let's see here. Now what I will do here is that I am now coming to the part of a very important aspect which I am now discussing in the classroom, that is in terms of a very important study was initiated to do the monetary valuation of economic benefits what we get from ecosystem and the biodiversity values. So there is a study called as the TEEB, or the economics of ecosystem, the economics of ecosystems and biodiversity. The economics of ecosystem and biodiversity, what is called as a TEB. Right? This is called as a TEB. The economics of ecosystem and biodiversity. There is a TEB study. And the person who gave this concept is Dr. Pawan Sukhdev. Dr. Pawan Sukhdev. So here, this was initiated, like here this concept was given by, put forward by an eminent scientist of India, Dr. Pawan Sukhdev. He has been the task leader. Recently, Dr. Pawan Sukhdev was given Tyler Award. There is an award given, Tyler Award from UN. He got the award, Tyler Award. He is a very important, eminent Indian writer who has come forward this concept of the economics of ecosystems and biodiversity part. Right? He is now heading the WWF, Worldwide Fund for Nature. Now he is the Director General of that. Now what was here? This is the, by 2009, right? 2009 and all. So this concept was endorsed. This concept was endorsed by Group of 8. What is Group of 8? They are the most advanced countries. Group of 7, US, Australia and all, and plus Russia. And the developing countries and developing countries. So when we talk about developing countries here, so in this context comes India, right? China, Brazil and South Africa. China, Brazil and South Africa. Right, this was endorsed by this group in 2009. This concept was endorsed. Now what is the main aspect of this concept is that, what is the objective? What is the objective of this kind of a program there? The objective of the TEB there. From the name it is very clear, the economics of ecosystems and biodiversity. Right? So the main objective is that to capture, the first is that to capture, right, recognize and demonstrate ecosystem services, whatever services we get from ecosystem services and biodiversity values coming from plants and animals, biodiversity values in monetary terms. right? In monetary terms, the valuation has to be done to capture, recognize and demonstrate ecosystem services and biodiversity values in monetary terms, right? In policy making by policy makers. That is here a very important concept has come, right? This monetary valuation of natural, you can say here is basically monetary valuation, right? Monetary valuation of natural capital, right? Of natural capital, whatever we get from plants and animals and all that part, and this has been done. So here Dr. Pawan Sukhdev, as a task leader, what has been done under this one is that there is a methodology has been developed for green accounting, what is called as a Harit Lekhankan or green accounting. So what is here to develop a methodology for green accounting. We can carry out the green accounting, we can do all this monetary valuation, green accounting in terms of, now a very new concept has come up in terms of what is called green domestic product. One GDP, you know, gross domestic product. One type of domestic product, what we call, that is the green domestic product. What is a normal GDP? When in your economy class, I hope you are doing your economy class. In your economy class, the teacher who teach you economy would have discussed about GDP, gross domestic product. What is gross domestic product? Total national income, which we get from different sectors: agriculture, industry, power, transport, all total national income which is earned by a country in 1 year. That is a gross domestic product. Now there is a new method has come, green domestic product. What is called here? Green domestic product. How much percentage of the economy, we get from agriculture land, from the forest resources, agriculture resources, aquaculture, how much money we earn, how much revenue we earn in 1 year coming from the nature, what we get from the nature, what we get from the biodiversity part. That has to be captured in terms of green domestic product. Green domestic product. New type of GDP has come. Now here again, what is the objective here? The objective of this study is that to bring all stakeholders, to bring about accountability. This will help in bring about accountability, right? It will bring about accountability of all stakeholders, right? All stakeholders to protect, conserve and sustainably manage, right? Manage natural resources. Whatever the natural resources we get from ecosystem and biological resources, genetic resources, they need to be conserved, protected and managed. Let's understand. I'll make you understand. Let's suppose that there is a forest. And that forest provides us, just suppose that forest provides us 10 lakh rupees of timber. Every year from that forest, we get 10 lakh rupees as a timber. Now suppose government sanction metro project. Now government sanction mining project. Now government sanction hydropower project. And that forest is removed. There is deforestation. Right? There is a deforestation. So what will happen there? If we carry out deforestation because of mining, we are not only losing that 10 lakh rupees earning from the forest, but we are also losing regulating services, prevention of soil erosion, natural calamities, recycling of waste. We are also losing supporting services, and we are also losing cultural services. So what does TEB tell us? TEB tells us that if we protect that forest, if we manage that forest, not only will get 10 lakh rupees earning in 1 year, but will also provide us multiple benefits. That's where the TEB comes into that. And this TEB, right, this comes under, this is a hosted by, like here, TEB, this study, right, TEB India study was started. This was started by the MOEF, started by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change in 2011, when Mr. Jairam Ramesh, you know about Jairam Ramesh? Mr. Jairam Ramesh was Environment Minister in the year 2011, and Indian government being the part of global initiative, G8 and developing countries, Indian government decided to go for TEB India. In India we must have TEB. In India we must have green accounting. In India we must have green domestic product. So for that 2011, like Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change started the TEB India study. Right, we have started with that. And again I'll tell you that this TEB initiative at the global level is hosted by UNEP. It comes under United Nations Environment Program. Is hosted by the UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, and CBD. Right, even Convention on Biological Diversity, there it also comes. Right, these are very, very important points I am coming across, and it is given in your handout. That's what I said. Please read Vision IS study material. All these points which I have written on the whiteboard, right, it can be again asked in the exam. Already in 2016, already a question on TEB has been asked, but again I have provided here. So please copy this. Please copy all these points. I am giving you time. I am giving you 2 or 3, 5 minutes time. Please copy that. Please copy all these points. Please copy the points there. All these points. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. If you have any doubt, please ask me. Please copy the points on the whiteboard. I am giving you time. Please do that. Have you all copied it? Okay, there is a question by Yes. Yes is asking a question here. One student, Yes is asking a question that what is the difference between the supporting service and regulating service? Supporting service means what ecosystem support in terms of habits. What ecosystem support? Biodiversity. What ecosystem supports? Carbon cycle, water cycle, nitrogen cycle, those kind of processes. And what is regulating? Regulation, controlling. What ecosystem, like forest? Forest can control flood. If you have forest there, the impact of flood will be less. Mangrove forest in Sundarban and all those sites in India, coastal site where mangrove forest is there. Mangrove forest protect from sea level rise, cyclone, protective function, right? That is again regulation. It regulates that area. If plants are there, trees are there, soil erosion will not take place. It also control pest. That is controlling, that is mean regulating. Mr. Yash, please read Vision IS study material also. you'll also get the answer. I'll take you to that part. What he has asked there, yes question there. I don't know whether he was there when I was discussing the handout of the visionized material. I'll again take it to him. So for Yash and other people who have not understood here the meaning of provisioning and all, right, all those people there, see here. What is provisioning services? The products which we get from ecosystem. What is regulatory services? The benefit obtained from regulation of ecosystem processes like climate regulation, flood prevention, erosion control, pest control, pollination, seed dispersal, disease regulation. What is supporting services? Services necessary for the production of all ecosystem services. What are the services which are important for the production of all other ecosystem services, all other above services? That is the biodiversity, nutrient recycling. This is given clearly in the table here. This is what you have clearly given in the table here. I hope, yes, this is clear here. This is clear to the student. Right? Now let's look at here. See, when I'm coming here, when I'm coming to this part of it, see, this was endorsed by G8 and all in 2009, but was the report was presented in CBD. So what you can write also there, TEB is hosted by UNEP and there is a convention called Convention on Biological Diversity, CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity. So concept was put forward by Dr. Pawan Sukhdev and this was initiated, right, endorsed by G8 and developing countries in 2009 and report was presented first synthesis report was presented in 2010, right. Concept was put forward by Dr. Pawan Sukhdev and then it was initiated, right, this study was initiated by G8 and all this in 2007. So this Dr. Pawan Sukhdev who gave the concept, right, put forward the concept of TEB, and the G8 and the developing countries environment ministers, they commissioned the work in the year 2007. Now 2009 the report it was got endorsed and 2010 there was a meeting, what is something called Conference of Parties, COP, Conference of Parties of one very important treaty, international treaty called CBD, Convention on International on Biodiversity part, Convention on Biological Diversity, UN Convention, UN Treaty, CBD. That was in 2010. There was a meeting, there was a conference where the report was, synthesis report was put forward. So, but when the initially the work was started 2007. So you can write this one and is hosted by UNEP and CBD, Convention on Biodiversity. I'll take you to the website. Now let's look at the website here. You will be able to understand here. You will be able to understand whatever I have written there. You will be able to understand that. Now this is the home page. What you see here, this is the home page. Making nature's value visible. Now see the language here. The economics of ecosystem and biodiversity, global initiative to making nature's value visible. Right? And recognize, capture, all this you'll find. And you can see the timeline here. I'll go to timeline here. I'm just taking you to timeline. See, it was started in 2007, March 2007. It was commissioned in G8+5 Potsdam meeting of environment ministers. They called for global analysis. Then the report was May 2008. Interim report was launched, and then there was a 2010. The TB study report was launched and accepted there. And again, you can see Convention on Biological Diversity. UNEP hosts the TEB office, United Nations Environment Program, that hosts there. and you can see here Pawan Sukhdev. I'll take you to the study leader. The study leader is Dr. Pawan Sukhdev. He was recently given Tyler Award. He is the Pawan Sukhdev, right? So he was been awarded the Tyler Award. So he came out with this idea of a TEB study, right? So now, in order to understand more TEB part, right, let me just take you to another aspect on that. You will understand more better. I'll from the mouth of Dr. Pawan Sukhdev. Dr. Pawan Sukhdev will now explain you this entire concept of TEB there.
TEEB stands for the economics of ecosystems and biodiversity. Perhaps we should have called it the economics of nature, because that's what it's about. And the challenge here is that nature provides a lot to us every day in terms of food, fuel, fiber, but also ecosystem services like flood prevention and drought control, which forests provide, or pollination, which bees provide for agriculture. But most of these services that nature provides are for free. They are public services. We don't measure their value. The net result is we ignore them. You cannot manage what you do not measure. Well, TEEB is really a structured approach towards explaining to countries, to local governments and to businesses how you can understand the value of the ecosystem services that are received by them and important for them. So we provide the framework, we provide the methodologies, and then we help governments through the so-called country TEEB studies that are going on these days, almost 25 of them, and we help companies by encouraging them to look at our methodologies and to use them to assess the value that nature provides to the business and the impacts that business has on nature, which can be negative. If we look at land today, that is agriculture, and look at productivity, two things are very important. One is to understand that more than half, almost 60% of the land on earth is actually tilled in small farms. It's not massive industrial complexes. And this is important in two ways. One, because we have here the livelihoods of more than 1 billion farmers in the developing world. And if we can only figure out some way of improving the productivity of their land, improving the output that they get per hectare, that would be a huge solution to two big problems. One is poverty, because they would get more income, and the other is hunger, because there would be more food going around. We are talking about huge increases possible on small farms around the world using ecologically friendly farming methods. The studies done by Jules Pretty and by the FAO demonstrate that there can be increases of in like one of these studies 79%, in another of these studies 180%, if we only apply ecologically friendly approaches to these farms. As these studies come to fruition, what we will find is that they are providing the countries who are engaging them the infrastructure, the toolkit, if you like, to value ecosystem services and their benefits for policy areas as significant as animal husbandry and agriculture and the reduction of rural poverty and the prevention of desertification and the assurance of fresh water supply. All of these are important policy areas in most developing countries. There was a study done recently by Trucost, a research firm in London, which estimated that the total environmental externalities, in other words, the costs to the environment and to society of doing business as usual, was something like $2.1 trillion, $2.1 million, 3.5% of global GDP, from the top 3,000 companies. Now, what they're clearly doing is creating third-party costs, in other words, creating social costs whilst making private profits. That's a free lunch. That can't go on. If you look at ecosystem services, sometimes people say, well, yes, of course they're valuable, but you know, they are 5%, 10%, 15% of GDP, and indeed, if you wish to measure them that way, that's what they will be. However, that's not really the right question. The real question to ask is, what are ecosystem services as a fraction of the household incomes of the rural poor? And that answer, when we did this calculation in one of the TEEB studies, that answer in the case of India was 47% on average, in the case that's for 350 million people who depend on these services. In Indonesia, for almost 100 million people, that answer was close to 75%. In Brazil, for 20 million people who depend on the gathering of nuts and fruit and so on in the northern Amazon, that answer was 89% on average. Now, that's the whole point. You have to think of ecosystem services consumed by the poor as a fraction of the GDP of the poor. Then you realize how important they are. An example of steps in the right direction have been taken already by Paul Pullman's initiative, which is called the Tropical Forest Alliance. It's actually an initiative begun by the Consumer Association in the US and supported by Paul Pullman, the chairman of Unilever, and supported by the president of Indonesia, Mr. Yudhoyono. Their first meeting was in June in 2013, where they pulled together 4 major agricultural and forestry industries which had huge impacts on rainforests, these being beef and soya and pulp and paper and palm oil. And the objective of this Tropical Forest Alliance is to ensure that these 4 major contributors to deforestation in the tropics can actually bring down that deforestation to 0 by 2020. That's the right model. It's got to be a sectoral, cooperative model supported by the relevant governments.
Right, you have understood what is the TEB as explained by Dr. Pawan Sukhdev. Now let's look at this question here. I am now coming to a question here. Let me see how many of you can give correct answer. So here with reference to an initiative called the TEB, which of the following statements are correct? Number 1, it is an initiative hosted by the UNEP, then IMF, International Monetary Fund, and World Economic Forum, World Economic Forum. This was the question asked in the UPSC prelims exam 2016. This question was asked. Second statement is that it is a global initiative. This was asked in the exam. That is a global initiative, right, that focuses, right, we have discussed in the classroom here, what is the objective here, that focuses on drawing attention, right, on drawing attention to the economic benefit, whatever the economic benefit we get, right, to the economic benefit, right, economic benefits of biodiversity, right. Is the statement number 1 correct? My question to the class is that statement number 1 is correct? And also we have discussed that it provides a new approach to do the economic valuation, which can help the decision makers or policy makers, like governments can help the decision makers or policy makers to recognize, right, to recognize, right, to capture, to recognize, right, all this can be done through the TEB study, what you have heard from the mouth of Dr. Pawan Sukhdev, right. We can demonstrate also there, demonstrate and capture, right. This is the question asked in the prelims exam, right. I hope that you all have copied the whiteboard. All of you have copied it, or you want me to give you time to copy the whiteboard, whatever the points, and the detailed part is given in your printed this one. There is a handout of that is given there. So you have to select the correct answer here, and the choice is this one, 1 and 2 only. Second is 3 only. C is 2 and 3 only, and D will be 1, 2 and 3. So what is the answer here? This question was asked in the prelims exam. This question was asked in the UPSC prelims exam. That was in prelims 2016. It was asked in the exam. So I am taking previous year question. See, then see the language. How UPSC use the language. Language of the question is very, very important. You have to understand the language of the question, right. You have to understand the language of the question. What is the language of the question there? Many of you are giving me C as an answer, B as an answer. You have to be aware of the language which is used here. Language of the question is very, very important. I have given you previous year question just to give an idea that what exactly can be the part of the answer here. That's really good, very good. I am getting all your response there. See, this is first one is wrong. Statement number 1 is wrong, right? This is wrong. It is hosted by UNEP and comes under CBD. Statement number 1 is wrong. Statement number 2 is correct, right? And also statement number 3 is also correct. And see the language here, exact same language. If you go to the web page, home page, you see the language used in the question paper. You see the language, what type of language is used in the question paper. If you see the language here, I'll just zoom out again. See here, exactly what is given on the website, same language is used here. See, focused on nature, mentions the values of biodiversity ecoservices, decision making at all level. Now see here, a structured approach to valuation that help decision makers benefit from ecosystem biodiversity and they can demonstrate their values in economic terms, right? Exact same thing, right? Exact same thing you will find here. So the answer here of this question, the answer is here 2 and 3. Answer is C, right? Here the question, the answer is C here. So I have taken previous question, answer is C here, 1, 2 and 3 only, right? Answer. Now all of you have copied this whiteboard. Have you all copied the whiteboard? Have you all copied the whiteboard? Now we'll go to the topic of biodiversity part. Have you all copied the whiteboard? I am going to clean the whiteboard. Have you all copied the whiteboard? The detailed part you will find in your handout also there. Visualized study material. Please try to write when I am writing on the board. Just try to write there. Now you have to develop your stamina of writing it as it goes with the class there, right? So I'll clean the whiteboard. Now I'm cleaning the whiteboard. We will now come to the new concept here. I'm going to clean the whiteboard now. I hope that all these points you all have copied it, right? I'm giving you sufficient time, and also I will request all of you, when I am explaining something, I am writing the point, please do copy that. And you are getting the access to recorded videos also. If you miss out anywhere in between the class, any of the point from the whiteboard, you can always go back to the recorded video and can write the points there. Alright. So I am going to clean the whiteboard here. Now let's come to the other concepts here in the classroom. This was the important concept which I discussed from examination point of view, and it can be a part of both prelims exam and the main exam. Both you can get the question here. And I am going to every aspect on that, so that you are able to relate with that, right? You are able to relate all such areas there. All right. Now what I am coming here, I am now coming to the topic of biological diversity. We will now discuss the biological diversity. We will now discuss the topic of biological diversity. Biodiversity, biological diversity. Bio plus diversity. Bio here refers to living organisms. All types of living organisms. Diversity is the differences, variabilities, variations, differences found in all living organisms. So now let's understand here. So what is biodiversity here? the first point of biodiversity here is that the definition part, right? Bio plus diversity, right? Living organism plus diversity. That's where the word comes into bio plus diversity, right? Diversity in the living world, right? That's where the biodiversity term comes into that. Now let's understand here. Biodiversity, how we define is that it refers to study of variations differences, study of variations found in all living organism, plant, animals, even in the animals, birds, mammals, reptiles, amphibians, so all type of living organisms at all levels and all complexities, all the complexities there, at all level and complexities, right? Whether it is a animal kingdom, whether it is a vertebrate, invertebrate, right? In plant kingdom, angiosperm, gymnosperm, all different types, all varieties, all complexities, right? So here, which also include what? Which includes differences or diversity, which includes differences or variations, what includes diversity within species. In the same species we find the differences within species. Then between species we can compare between one species to another species, between species, and also between ecosystem and between ecological systems. Let's say a forest with a river, right? River with sea and ocean, between ecosystems. This is the complete definition of biodiversity. Biodiversity is completely defined in this way. So what are the key words here? First is that variations in all living organisms at all levels, right? All complexities, right? Diversity within species, diversity between species, and between ecosystem. These are keywords are there. So biodiversity, there are three levels are there. And there are three levels of biodiversity. You can say it is an attribute of the biodiversity also. The three levels of biodiversity. First is called here genetic diversity at the gene level. Right? Genetic diversity, that is which occurs at the gene level. So here differences, variations based on genetic makeup, right? Based on genetic makeup, DNA or gene of organisms of same species. We are taking the species as the same. Differences based on the genetic makeup of organisms which give it the adaptation to this environment, right, of the same species. Let's say for example, tiger, Royal Bengal tiger. Royal Bengal tiger, Sundarban Delta, West Bengal Sundarban Delta, where you have this Indian tiger, Royal Bengal tiger. If you have seen this movie, Life of Pi, I don't know how many of you have watched this movie, Life of Pi, where a boy along with the Royal Bengal tiger is stranded in a boat and the boy tried to survive from this tiger. Royal Bengal tiger is a tiger which live in the mangrove forest of Sundarban Delta. Royal Bengal tiger is a tiger which can live in the hot, humid climate. Royal Bengal tiger is a tiger which can live in the swampy kind of a wetland there of Sundarban Delta. Royal Bengal tiger is a tiger which can swim in the sea water, Bay of Bengal. Royal Bengal tiger is a tiger which can drink the salt water of the Bay of Bengal. That is the adaptation based on gene, DNA. Now in Russia, when you go to Russia, Siberia, Siberian plains of Russia, there is another type of tiger called as the Amur tiger, A-M-U-R, Amur tiger. So there is another tiger, what is called Amur tiger. That is a Siberian tiger. Now Siberian tiger is adapted to live in the cold climate. Amur Darya. Amur is a river there. Amur tiger or Siberian tiger, which live in Siberia, is a cold climate. Is adapted to live in the cold climate. It is tiger only. It is tiger. Panthera tigris. Whether you talk about Indian tiger, Royal Bengal tiger, or Siberian tiger, or Caspian tiger, or Java tiger, or African tigers, all are Panthera tigris. Same species. But they differ at the gene level, which help them adapt to the environment. Right? So Amur tiger, then you can take example of here African tiger. All of these are tiger varieties, right? They differ at gene level. What I've written here? They differ at the genetic gene makeup. Right? Then you know that if you compare leopard, in India, leopard, common leopard, Tendua, Uttarakhand, Maharashtra, part of Goa, then part of Haryana, Punjab, you have a common leopard. Then there is a snow leopard, Him Tendua, snow leopard, found in the higher reaches of Himalayas. There we have snow leopard. And in northeast India, Arunachal Pradesh and all, there we have clouded leopard, clouded. All of these are leopards only. India is the home of Asiatic lion. Where do you find Asiatic lion? Asiatic lion is found in Gir forest of Gujarat. Gir forest in Gujarat is the only and only home of Asiatic lion in the world. The entire international globe, entire world is only found in Gir forest. But there is African lion found in Africa, savanna grassland of Africa, there is African lion. But their lion only, Panthera leo. So species the same, but you have differences. Just in your family. In your family, your grandfather, your father and yourself. All are human beings. All are Homo sapiens sapiens, modern man. But there is still differences in entire aspect from grandfather to father to yourself. If we compare all the Indians, Northeast India ethnicity, western part of country, Gujarat and Maharashtra, their part of ethnicity, South India ethnicity, Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Kashmir, you take, compare all this. Again you find differences in human beings only, in Homo sapiens only. I am different from all of you. Each one of you are different from each other. Right? At the same time, Indian with Chinese, Chinese with Japanese, Japanese with Korean, right, with African, with Americans, with Europeans, again differences are there. That is a genetic diversity. This is called as a genetic diversity at the gene level. Now what comes the next one? Next one is the species diversity at the species level. At the species level, species diversity. What do you mean by species diversity? When we compare the same cat family, leopard, panther, lion, tiger, right, all these are in cat family, even the common cat. But they are different species. Lion is different from tiger, tiger is different from leopard, leopard is different from panther, right? So here differences, here scientists study differences between different types of species, between different types of species. Now we are comparing one species with another species, right? Different types of species. Let's say for example, let's say for example tiger, lion, right? Let's say mango, Mangera indica. Now the summer time has come, mango has come. Mango also, mango itself has so many varieties. Langda, Dasahari, Chausa, Banganpali, Totapuri, all are mango only. But they have different taste, different flavors. That is genetic diversity. In mango only. In mango only we have so many varieties. Alfonso, in Maharashtra, Ratnagiri, Alfonso. That is genetic diversity. In mango only we have so many varieties. Right? But let's say mango and man, all are different species. Tiger is different, lion is different, mango is different, man is different. So that is species diversity. है ना? आम एक अलग प्रजाति है, आदमी अलग प्रजाति है, और एक है आम आदमी, वो अलग ही प्रजाति है. Right? Aam and admi, right? Man and mango, they're two different species, right? That is called species diversity. And then you know that there is aam admi also. I am kidding, I am just joking. In your batch, anyone supporter of aam admi, please pardon me, right? Please forgive me if your heart has heard from that my saying that aam admi another prajati, that is different. So there are different species here. I am talking about different species, right? Tiger, lion, mango, man, all different species there, right? Then comes the last third part. What comes here? Ecosystem diversity. Diversity between the communities and ecological system. That is called ecosystem diversity. That is called ecosystem diversity. That is here differences, right? Differences found between two types of ecosystem, when we compare one ecosystem with another, again we are comparing species only, right? We are comparing with the species only. Let's say for example Western Ghat, tropical rainforest, Amazon forest, tropical rainforest has got highest level of biodiversity, tropical rainforest. And we compare with this, let's say versus desert, let's say Thar Registan with desert. Let's say we compare with the desert, tropical rainforest with desert, right? If we compare tropical rainforest with the desert, comparison of rainforest, right? Tropical rainforest with the desert there. Desert Marusthal, Barmer, Jaisalmer, Rajasthan, the type of species, cactus, khejdi, camel, all will you find that. But when you say rainforest, Meghalaya rainforest, Western Ghat rainforest, full of life, number of birds, different type of plants, trees, insects, birds, mammals, reptiles, amphibians. Do we have a difference there? Rainforest with the desert, right? So here tropical rainforest, and we compare with the desert here. We compare with the desert there. So those who cannot see the bottom part, I am reading out also there. I am writing on the bottom part tropical rainforest, and we are comparing with the desert versus the desert. Or you can take desert with grassland, grassland with rainforest, two ecosystems, right? So please write this one. I am giving you time to write. Please write there. Please write all these points what I have written there. I have very clearly written on the whiteboard. Please do write that. Differences found between two types of ecosystem, TYPES. Those who cannot see here, I am writing here. If you cannot see here, TYPES. Sometimes you may not be able to read the spelling, TYPES. Please write all these points. I'm giving you time to copy this. I'm giving you 1 or 2 minutes time to copy the points. Any doubt you have, you can ask me the doubt. If you have any doubt, please ask me. I hope that you all have copied it. Okay, now to make you more better understanding, just watch this small TED, TED, TED education documentary on that.
Our planet's diverse, thriving ecosystems may seem like permanent fixtures, but they're actually vulnerable to collapse. Jungles can become deserts, and reefs can become lifeless rocks, even without cataclysmic events like volcanoes and asteroids. What makes one ecosystem strong and another weak in the face of change? The answer, to a large extent, is biodiversity. Biodiversity is built out of 3 intertwined features: ecosystem diversity, species diversity, and genetic diversity. The more intertwining there is between these features, the denser and more resilient the weave becomes. Take the Amazon rainforest, one of the most biodiverse regions on Earth due to its complex ecosystems, huge mix of species, and the genetic variety within those species. Here are tangled liana vines, which crawl up from the forest floor to the canopy, intertwining with treetops and growing thick wooded stems that support these towering trees. Helped along by the vines, trees provide the seeds, fruits, and leaves to herbivores such as the tapir and the agouti, which disperse their seeds throughout the forest so they can grow. Leftovers are consumed by the millions of insects that decompose and recycle nutrients to create rich soil. The rainforest is a huge system filled with many smaller systems like this, each packed with interconnected species. Every link provides stability to the next, strengthening biodiversity's weave. That weave is further reinforced by the genetic diversity within individual species, which allows them to cope with changes. Species that lack genetic diversity due to isolation or low population numbers are much more vulnerable to fluctuations caused by climate change, disease, or habitat fragmentation. Whenever a species disappears because of its weakened gene pool, a knot is untied and parts of the net disintegrate. So, what if we were to remove one species from the rainforest? Would the system fall apart? Probably not. The volume of species, their genetic diversity, and the complexity of the ecosystems form such rich biodiversity in this forest that one species gap in the weave won't cause it to unravel. The forest can stay resilient and recover from change. But that's not true in every case. In some environments, taking away just one important component can undermine the entire system. Take coral reefs, for instance. Many organisms in a reef are dependent on the coral. It provides key microhabitats, shelter, and breeding grounds for thousands of species of fish, crustaceans, and mollusks. Corals also form interdependent relationships with fungi and bacteria. The coral itself is a loom that allows the tangled net of biodiversity to be woven. That makes coral a keystone organism, one that many others depend on for their survival. So what happens when destructive fishing practices, pollution, and ocean acidification weaken coral or even kill it altogether? Exactly what you might think. The loss of this keystone species leaves its dependents at a loss too, threatening the entire fabric of the reef. Ecosystem, species, and genetic diversity together form the complex tangled weave of biodiversity that is vital for the survival of organisms on Earth. We humans are woven into this biodiversity too. When just a few strands are lost, our own well-being is threatened. Cut too many links, and we risk unraveling it all. What the future brings is unpredictable, but biodiversity can give us an insurance policy, Earth's own safety net, to safeguard our survival.
Right? What I have shown you right now, documentary, you have understood the importance of biodiversity part. At the same time, what I have now provided here as a part of biological diversity on the board there, right? So, you all have copied it, I hope. So, again I will come into the KBC. We will also go to the KBC here. So, let us now come to the KBC part. Let me come to the KBC here. Question number 4. Let's say I am asking a question here. Which of following benefits are derived from biodiversity? Such kind of questions are often asked in many of the competitive exam, and earlier it was asked in Upsc exam also there. Like number 1, pollination. Number 2, waste treatment. Number 3, protection from natural calamities. Right? Simple question here. One only, 1 and 2 only. Come on guys, be fast. It's a very simple question I have given here. It's a very simple question I am asking that, and I am very sure this kind of question you can easily solve. It won't be difficult for you to solve. What will be answer here? It's a very simple question I have given here, and you can easily solve this kind of question. That in UPSC exam also, earlier this kind of question was asked, but not now. Earlier it was asked there. Yes, you are right. You are very correct. The answer is D here. Answer here of this question is D. You all are correct. You are very correct, right? You are all correct there. Now let's see question number 5. Right? Question number 5 there. All of these are correct. You are very right. Now question number 5 here. Right here. Which of following is the major cause of loss of biodiversity? Let's say I am asking another question here. Again a simple question that. Which of following is the major cause of biodiversity loss or loss of biodiversity? A, habitat destruction. B, pollution. C, genetic modification. It's a very simple question I am just giving you for the practice there. Genetic modification. And D, climate change. Right? So what will be answer here? What will be answer question number 5? Which of following is the major cause of loss of biodiversity? Habitat destruction, pollution, genetic modification, climate change. Which is the major cause? What shall be the answer? No, you have to only take one. Only you have Anju, Nagasai, all of the Kanika and all. No, I know that. All of these are cause of loss of biodiversity. You have to take major. I am asking question here major cause. I am asking here major cause. You have to select only one. You have to only select among one. all of these are cause of biodiversity loss, but I am asking the major cause, most important cause. You have to select here most important cause. See, please try to read the question properly. Out of A, B, C, D in the exam hall, you cannot take all of them. All of these are cause of biodiversity loss, but you have to take only one. You have to only select one. You have to only select one. You have to only select one here. The answer is A. Answer is A. All of these are cause of biodiversity loss. Remember that. All of these cause loss, but I am asking the most important cause. Right? Most important cause. Right? Habitat destruction. Habitat destruction, habitat loss leads to direct extinction. Leads to direct extinction of species. No climate change. Climate change is there, I know that, but not climate change. Anshul Mishra, you are wrong. All these are cause of loss of biodiversity, but I am asking the most important factor. The most important factor is habitat destruction, habitat loss. Answer is A. Answer is A. Now if I ask you a question here, if I now ask a question like this, if I am asking a question here that if a question is this one, which of following is our threat to biodiversity? And let's say I am giving multiple choice. Now if I am giving multiple choice here, climate change, land use change, pollution, and let's say here this one, invasive alien species. Now if you have this kind of question, right, where this kind of question is asked in the exam, right, if you get this kind of question in the examination, now you have a choice to select more of them. Here you have a choice of selecting more option. Now tell me what will be answer here. Now you have the option to select more of the question. So now what will be answer here? Now if you get a question like this one, then what will you take here? Threat. Now here the answer will be D. Now here the answer will be D. All of these are, now I am giving you here the multiple choice. Here the answer will be all. I am now giving you the multiple choice. I am now giving you the multiple choice here. D will be the answer here. Climate change also, land use change, which can result in habitat loss, pollution also, invasive alien species, which are exotic species coming from outside, that can result into the part of it. Right? Answer will be D, D for Delhi. Right? Now tell me, the answer is D here. Now my question to the class is that D for Delhi, all of this. All of these will be the loss to the biodiversity. Now my question to the class is that how many of you have got all 6 correct? How many of you got all 6 correct? How many of you have got all 6 correct? How many of you have got all 6 correct? All 6 correct. Today in the classroom I have taken 6 questions. You have got all the 6 questions correct there? Yes. How many of you have got all the 6 questions correct? Okay. How many of you got 5 correct? How many of you got 5 correct? 5 correct answer? 5. How many of you got 5 correct? 5 answer correct? Alright. So, anyway, I am giving a break here. We'll have here 10 minutes break. Now is the break time. So, I am giving you 10 minutes break. After the break, we'll continue with the discussion part. Please don't go anywhere else. Please come back after the break time and then we'll discuss more topics. I am going to discuss a very important topic in the classroom. Please don't go anywhere else. Today's class is very important and please come back. And I'm going to discuss more areas there. So we'll have a break here. Okay, we'll have a break here. Are you all back? Are you all back here? Shall we continue the class? All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, to come back. So we'll continue with the discussion part. Now, what I'm now coming in the classroom is a very important aspect which you have to again be prepared, and you have to connect with current aspect on that, right? So what I would like to do here, in a flow chart, I'll give you biodiversity values and we'll see threats to biodiversity, right? And then we'll go to biodiversity measurements. See, the way I am taking topics from day one, if you look at the classroom number 1, environment class 1, and now the way I am going with the topics, right? There is a very sequential order of topics which I am following in terms of classroom discussion and giving you a comprehensive revision class notes. When you read any textbook or when you read study material of Vision IAS, there the presentation of chapterization may be different, right? Because many of you have not covered geography. Many of you have not done your geography completely. There are many concepts which are linked from geography to the subject of environment ecology, right? That's what I have designed the classroom topics in such a way that you all are comfortable. You all are able to follow topics which I am covering in the classroom. And one very good thing about your batch is that you have completed biology. So you can link with biodiversity. Since you have done biology, you will be able to link with biodiversity part. Alright. So what I am going to do here, I am going to draw a flow chart. Please copy that flow chart, right? All the examples which I'll mention there. And I'll give you certain more understanding part of it. So please copy this. So we are now going to discuss here biodiversity, which I gave you the multiple choice question for practice also there. Values. Values linked with biodiversity, right? Let's look at first one by one. The first one is here economic value. Economic values. From economic sense, whatever we get. So here we are talking about plants and animals, flora and fauna, biological resources. So like here, crop cultivar, crop cultivation variety, right? Then you know that medicinal plants, right? Different type of medicinal plants and medicines, different type of raw materials what we get. So these are economic values what we get. You have to connect with ecosystem services. You have to connect with ecosystem services here. Next what comes here? Ecosystem values or ecological values. How biodiversity supports ecological values here. Ecological values. So let's take example here. That is here balance in ecosystem balance. The balance in ecosystem that is maintained by food chain, food web, right? Then I mentioned here that prevention of soil erosion, all those kind of function, control of flood and all this There's again linked with the ecological function there, right? Then what comes here? Third thing what comes here, that is a, in terms of very important value which I am writing here, right? Aesthetic. Aesthetic and recreational values. Aesthetic and recreational values here. Aesthetic and recreational values. Let's say for example here, in terms of ecological tourism, let's say safari, when you go to Jim Corbett National Park, Corbett National Park, right? Jim Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand, tiger safari, or Sariska Tiger Reserve in Alwar, there you go for safari there, right? Or when you visit a particular lake, when you visit any kind of elephant reserve, or you go to a wildlife sanctuary or bird sanctuary. So the beauty of the nature. What is the aesthetic here? Aesthetic here means beauty of the nature. What we admire. Beauty lies in eyes of beholders. For some people, nature is beautiful. But for others, it doesn't matter, right? So it is the way which nature gives us the mental or psychological well-being that is being provided from nature, right? That is where called aesthetic. And recreational tourism, adventure tourism, like river rafting, mountaineering, right? Scuba diving, coral reef, under sea and ocean, people go for scuba diving to the coral reef area. All these kind of tourism activities are meant for recreational, the recreational part also, and also provides aesthetic. Another very important thing, literature. Short stories. जंगल जंगल बात चली है पता चला है, जंगल जंगल बात चली है पता चला है, चड्डी पहन के फूल खिला है, फूल खिला है. So you know that this song, very famous song. Which movie? What I'm talking about? This song. जंगल जंगल बात चली है पता चला है, चड्डी पहन के फूल खिला है. That is a very famous jungle book. Very, very famous jungle book, right? And in that jungle book, you have seen the movie also there. Recently there was a Hollywood movie, and there Insan Ka Pilla, right? That is a man, Mowgli, right? The boy Mowgli. And then there is a tiger, Sher Khan, right? Then you have Ballu. Who is Ballu? Black bear, Ballu. Then you have Bagheera. Who is Bagheera? Black panther. Then you have a python, Ka, right? Whatever characters you have seen in the movie Jungle Book. Who wrote the Jungle Book? Jungle Book was written by Rudyard Kipling. Who is the writer of Jungle Book? Rudyard Kipling. He wrote a beautiful short stories called Jungle Book, right? And I know that you all have seen Jungle Book comic strips, right? We have watched the movie. Jungle Book, panther, black bear, human, tiger, all these characters what you see in Jungle Book, they have been inspired from a place called Pench, Pench. In your batch, those who come from Madhya Pradesh, MP, and also in Maharashtra, there is Maharashtra also Pench, MP also has got Pench. They are divided by a border. So Pench in MP, all these characters of animals what you come across, that's where the literature comes. What I have given in literature, literature comes into that. English literature, like William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth has written a poem on daffodil. He has written a poem on daffodil. Right, fair daffodil, millions of daffodils swaying in the air. So if you remember your school days, your college days, when you have been preparing for English poems and all, right? William Wordsworth, He has written on daffodil flowers, right? William Black. William Black has written poem on tiger. There is a poem on tiger. There is a stanza of tiger poem. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of night. What immortal hand or eye could frame thy symmetry? Right? There is a poem, very famous poem, tiger poem. Right? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of night. What immortal hand or eye could frame thy symmetry? William Black. Again, literature. Right? Great Sanskrit poet, Kalidasa. Kalidas, you know that, who has written Meghdutam, Shakuntalam, Kalidas, Sanskrit poet Kalidas. If you read the Kalidas there, it is a reference to the nature. Birds, animals, plants refer to the in the literature. Hindi, Urdu, Arabic, Spanish, French, German, English, even in the languages in India, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, right, Gujarati, Manipuri, Marathi, you take any language, literature, poem, short stories, right? Like for example, there is a very famous poem which I can narrate you from Hindi Sahitya, Hindi literature. That is a Himalay. खड़ा हिमालय बता रहा है, right? जुको न आंधी पानी में, right? Those who have read Hindi Sahitya, Himalay, right? So those kind of literature again come from the nature. Nature inspires us. We are inspired by nature. When we see tiger or a lion or elephant, right? There are a lot of poems are there, lot of poetries, lot of things are there. Right? Kanyakumari, when you go to Kanyakumari, Vivekananda Rocks Memorial, very near to Vivekananda Rock Memorial, there is a statue. There is a very tall statue of a great Tamil poet. Right? I don't know how many people know that and how many people went to Kanyakumari. Very near to Rock Memorial, there is a very great statue of a very great Tamil poet. Right? You know what is the name of the poet? Right? Eravulu. There is a name of a great poet. The statue is built on the midst of the sea, on a small rock island. So we have such kind of variety of literature. Whether you talk about Hindi or English or Urdu or Sanskrit or Marathi, you take any language, you will find the literature inspired from plants, animals, nature. Right? Then again cinematography. Cinematography, you will find cinematography, again you will find inspired from nature. Cinematography. Right? I have mentioned about Avatar movie there. You know, 70s. In 70s, in way back in 70s, what used to be there? Romantic song. Love songs, right? Love songs, romantic songs. That time the older movies. So what they used to do? Two flowers, right? Then song starts, hero and heroine, actor, actresses, they keep on walking and the song goes on. Now the time of Prabhudeva, charm of Prabhudeva, all the Roddy Rathod dance and all, you have the backdrop, sometimes desert, sometimes forest, sometimes grassland, sometimes go to the river and lake. They try to capture the landscape. Right? What the director is doing there? Director of a movie is trying to capture a landscape, so that we as an audience is able to enjoy this landscape in the backdrop of the movie, what you see across there. Right? Again, that is again the nature, where the biodiversity and ecosystem can be important part. Right? Next, what comes here, what we have covered in the classroom here. Very important part which I am now coming here. I write 3 words here. Right? I am bringing about 3 words here. That is a spirituality, spiritual, religious, right? Traditional and cultural. I have written 4 terms here. Spiritual, spirituality, religion, religious, tradition, traditional, and cultural values. All religions of the world, all religions, Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Jainism, Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, you take all religions of the world, right, has always given importance to nature. सभी धर्म में पर्यावरण और प्रकृति का और बायोडाइवर्सिटी को महत्व दिया गया है. They have been given importance, right? You take whichever religion, even all type of religion, whichever religions of the world is there, nature and the wildlife, plants and animals, they have been given the sanctity. Every religion of the world, right? So religious aspect comes into that. Culture, tradition, linked with biodiversity. Spirituality, adhyatma, linked with biodiversity, right? So here, as I mentioned that in the classroom, I have already mentioned about this concept of sacred groves, right? I have already mentioned about sacred groves. Then you know festivals, number of festivals, right? I'll give you example here. Bihu in Assam. There are 3 types of Bihu. Can anyone tell me what are the 3 types of Bihu? Rongali Bihu, Bhogali Bihu, Kongali Bihu. Bihu is a festival on agriculture. Pongal in Tamil Nadu, Baisakhi, Lohri in Punjab, Onam in Kerala, all again linked with the part of it. Different type of crops and cultivation, harvesting season, it all comes into that. Now what I am coming here, very, very important one. Biodiversity is also important from another aspect, that is a scientific knowledge. Knowledge values. In terms of deriving the scientific knowledge, the knowledge values there. Let's take example here. For example, traditional farming system, right? Traditional farming methods, farming systems there, right? Traditional farming systems. Then I am giving example here. Traditional medicine system, traditional knowledge, right? You know that we have now Ministry of Ayush, Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, Homeopathy, plus we have Tibetan Buddhist system of medicine called as Sowa Rigpa, SOWA, Sowa Rigpa, Amchi system of medicine, which is practiced in Himalayan state. When you go to Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim and Ladakh, there is a Buddhist system of medicine called Sowa Rigpa. All traditional medicine system, right? Farming method, India has different type of farming methods, right? Again that comes from there. And I will give you here FAO, there is a Food and Agriculture Organization, right? Recognize the heritage system of agriculture, recognizes what is called here GIHS. What have I written here? GIHS, globally important agriculture heritage system. And we have 3 such globally important agricultural heritage system. What are globally agricultural heritage system? Heritage means old, coming after generation, and is known for agriculture methods. There are 3 of them recognized by FAO. One is the Kuttanad. Where is Kuttanad? Kuttanad is near LAP, near Alappuzha in Kerala, is a below sea level farming. Rice, paddy cultivation, plus coconut and all those kind of plantation, plus aquaculture, shrimp farming, prawn culture. Where we are talking about Kuttanad, it's called rice bowl of Kerala. Rice bowl of Kerala, Kuttanad, below sea level farming, is called as globally important agriculture heritage system. Kashmir Valley is known for saffron cultivation. Kashmiri women are custodian of the knowledge to cultivate saffron, केसर की खेती केवल कश्मीर में होती है. And how to do that cultivation of that knowledge is handed by Kashmiri women to their children. Koraput, Odisha. I don't know how many people come from Odisha. Right, in Odisha there is a district called Koraput. Koraput has got a mixed farming system, or mixed farming system, which is called globally important agriculture heritage system, knowledge system. The knowledge system which comes from biodiversity part of it. Right, 3 of them are there. And the last what comes here is called as ethical values. Ethical values linked with biodiversity. Ethics, environmental ethics. Right, environmental ethics which comes into biodiversity part. Environmental ethics, ethical values. What is environmental ethics says? We must protect animals. We must protect plants. Prakriti rakshita rakshati. Prakriti rakshati rakshita. Those who protect nature, nature protects them. Is Sanskrit saying. Prakriti rakshati rakshata. Those who protect nature, nature protects them. And what we guys are doing, what we people are doing? Rampant exploitation of nature. Rampant, over exploitation of resources. Hunting, poaching. We are destroying like anything. Ethical values. What is ethics here? We should not harm any living organism. Bapu, right? Our Bapu. Non-violence. Satyagraha, right? Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, father of the nation, our Bapu, Mahatma Gandhi. What he has said? Nature can meet all our needs, but not our greed. प्रकृति हमारी सभी जरूरतों को पूरा कर सकती है, लेकिन हमारे लालच को नहीं. Nature can fulfill all what we need, but not our greed. Today we human beings have become greedy. And it's not only you, it includes me also. I am also responsible. Right? I am also responsible there. Each one of us. Right? The lifestyle what we are living that. So again the ethical question comes there. And I'll give you examples here. Let's say here, I'm giving very good example. Let's say for example, anti-dam movement, save Silent Valley. Where is Silent Valley? Silent Valley is located in Palakkad district of Kerala. Again I'm getting back to Kerala. Palakkad district of Kerala, there is a very famous place called Silent Valley. Why Silent Valley is silent? Because there is no beetles, no jhingur, no noise. You will not find any noise there. Palakkad district of Kerala. Now there in 70s there was a proposal to build a dam, hydropower project and dam, and because of the hydropower project and a dam, Silent Valley would have been lost. Silent Valley would have been lost. So people agitated. There was a mass movement to protect the Silent Valley, and there was a slogan, man or monkey. What was the slogan? Man or monkey. Which monkey was the centerpiece of that campaign? Lion-tailed macaque. There is an endemic monkey, macaque, which is only found in Western Ghats, Nilgiri and that area. It's called lion-tailed macaque. So either we want to protect that animal, macaque, and the Silent Valley, or we want to protect ourselves. That was time of Indira Gandhi, when Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister. I'm talking about 70s. So the dam project, the hydropower project was stopped. But then unfortunately, after that, even Palakkad today has a scarcity of water. There is water scarcity in Palakkad. So many dams have been built. So many rampant construction have been done. And you know that. What happened with Kerala? Flood. Kerala flood. Kerala flood. You all know that. So many people died of Kerala flood. So many houses, construction, everything was lost because of the Kerala flood. Kerala flood is a man-made disaster. Kerala flood is not natural, that excessive rainfall. Kerala flood and the loss of lives and loss of property is because of the human beings. We as the people there. Rampant construction, rampant deforestation. If you go to Kerala state, the God's own country, now this God's own country, you'll find what is the state there. Overpopulation, too much of population, too much of development, deforestation for cultivation of crops and plantations and all this thing. And what happened after that? Kerala flood is an eye opener, right? Dr. Madhav Gadgil came out a report on Western Ghats. Dr. Madhav Gadgil report said that there will be dire consequences if we don't protect the Western Ghats. And Western Ghat come out of 6 states, border of Gujarat, start from border of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. But then state government didn't listen to Madhav Gadgil's report on Western Ghat. Ministry of Environment Forest got another committee headed by Dr. Kasturi Rangan, who was another committee was formed, Kasturi Rangan committee, space scientist, ISRO chairman, Kasturi Rangan. And the dilution, Dr. Madhav Gadgil told that 68% of Western Ghats should be untouched. And Dr. Kasturi Rangan report just made half, 34%. That means 2/3 of Western Ghat were open for loot, plundering, mining and all this one. And that is a result, Kerala flood, the result of that. So we are going in such a way, we are destroying the nature. We are destroying the nature there, right? So here, Silent Valley movement, Chipko movement, you know the Chipko movement, where the Chipko movement was organized, and in Karnataka state, there was Epico movement, where the Chipko movement was organized. Where the Chipko movement was organized? Chipko movement, what happened Chipko movement? The ladies, they hug the tree, right? They hug the tree. Chipko, Uttarakhand, Chamoli district of Uttarakhand, where Sundarlal Bahuguna, an environmentalist, Sundarlal Bahuguna, and there was a woman, there was a lady, her name is Gaura Devi. What is the name of the lady? Gaura Devi. Gaura Devi with a group of women organized under the supervision of Sundarlal Bahuguna, Chipko movement. Epico was organized in the Karnataka, state of Karnataka in South India. But this concept of Chipko movement has been inspired from on one very important person, Amrita Devi Bishnoi in Rajasthan, Jodhpur, in Rajasthan Bishnoi community. They are environmentalist community. And Amrita Devi Bishnoi with her 3 daughters, Maharaja ordered to cut down the trees, And then Amrita Devi Bishnoi with her 3 daughters were killed with the axe. Same concept of this Chipko was organized in Uttarakhand, Chipko movement. Chamoli. Gaura Devi belongs to a village called Rani village of Chamoli Dev Prayag. And you know what happened? What happened last month? The glacial lake burst. And there was a hydropower project, Tapovan, Uttarakhand Tapovan, that hydropower project got lost. Many people died. Just 2 days back, cloud burst. See how the Uttarakhand is developing. Uttarakhand government, right, too much of development on the hills, on the mountains, right, and natural calamities which are now affecting the Uttarakhand. Lot of hydropower projects, lot of dams. हमारे देश में क्या है ना, केवल राजनीति होती है. NGOs, like NGOs, civil societies and all, their mouths are shut. If anybody say anything for the environment, they will keep quiet. Central government and state government. All these civil society organizations and NGOs who want to protect the environment, wildlife, they are just, what shall I tell you? in our country, the situation is so bad. The dirty politics happens in India, nowhere else. No country in the world can, has that what India has got. And we are neglecting the environment. We are all neglecting the environment. That's why ethics comes in. What ethics comes into that, right? So I have given the example here. Save Silent Valley, Chipko movement, Apico movement, all this comes into that. All right. So please copy this flowchart. I am giving you time. Please copy this. Please copy this flowchart. Okay, there is a question from Manu. A student named Manu has asked the question that greater the diversity, lesser the threat. Then why are we shifting lion or cheetah to MP where biodiversity is already less? And tigers were shifted out of MP due to threat of increasing number of predators. Should we not shift lions and cheetahs to Western Ghats or Northeast where the diversity is richer to handle predators or any variations? Very good, Manu. Very good, very good. Good, Manu, very good. I really liked your question. Well done, Manu. If Manu is there in the classroom, good. Your argument is very good. Manu, your argument is very good. Government want to relocate Asiatic lion from Gir forest in Gujarat to Kuno Palpur. There is a place called Kuno Sanctuary, Kuno Palpur in Madhya Pradesh. Recently, after the order of Supreme Court of India, right, NTCA is trying to bring the Namibia, African cheetah from Namibia to India. Indian cheetah is extinct. Now we want to bring the cheetah from Africa to India. And again to where? MP, Madhya Pradesh. There was a question asked in the UPSC exam, which will be second home of Asiatic lion, Kuno Palpur, Kuno, Kuno Palpur in Madhya Pradesh. Now he has asked the question, very, very nice question he has asked. What is it that greater the diversity, lesser the threat? Right? Why we want to shift lion and cheetah to the MP, central part of India, where less diversity. Instead of, and what we are doing, the tigers we are taking from there to somewhere else. Why don't we have such kind of strategy? We take this cheetah and all other to Northeast India or some other area where the more predators are there. Manu, I'll give you a question answer in two ways. One is the adaptation to the habitat. Every animal has got biologically adaptation to the environment. When we want to take it to Western Ghat or Northeast India, cheetah lives in semi-arid area or grassland, like savanna grassland, tropical grassland. Where do you find cheetah? Cheetah in Africa, Kenya, Namibia and all, they live on the tropical grassland called savanna grassland. In Northeast India or Western Ghats, you will not find too much of such kind of a semi-arid or tropical grasslands. In Madhya Pradesh, Kuno Palpur, that habitat chosen by the government has ideal location, ideal site with the climatic conditions and the type of habitat which can support biologically the cheetah. The lion also, African lion lives in the tropical grassland, in savanna grassland of Africa. Asiatic lion was earlier found in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. In 70s, lions were found in central part of the country. But because of the disease, lack of prey base, lions died in the Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, that area, only left in Gujarat. So there are locations there. That is in favor of government I am giving the point, what you have raised. But an argument point is that you have raised a very good point. Why don't we think of other places rather than having only one place? Again, the government will do that. What we are doing, we will first bring some of the animals to that location, help them breed naturally, grow in numbers as a pilot project, and then we will take it to other parts of the country. Clear? Manu, is it clear there? So please write these points there. I think Manu, you are okay there? Did you understand that what I am asking here? Why MP? So again, that is thought by the people there and then done there, right? All right, guys. What I'll do right now, I hope you all have copied it, all the points. All right. So what I'll do here, I'll now come to the certain questions there. There was a question asked in UPSC exam, right? Now let us see here this one. What is said here, globally important agriculture heritage system. FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, has got this globally important agriculture heritage system. That is done by UN body called FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization. And you can see here, so what is said here, see here. Globally important agriculture heritage systems are outstanding landscapes of aesthetic and combined agriculture biodiversity, resilient ecosystem and valuable cultural heritage, which provide multiple goods and services, food and livelihood of the millions of small scale farmers, right? And there are so many such sites have been selected there. Right, if you see here, the background and all you will find here. Now GIHS around the world, if you look at what I mentioned, that they are biodiversity, they are important for biodiversity and all this one. 62 sites are there, and let's say India, I'll take you to India there, right? Asia and the Pacific, and let's look at India there. Koraput traditional farming system. Now you can see here, Koraput traditional farming agriculture system. It has been declared as a GIHS. Local communities, they are involved in the farming, and you can see there are also cultural traits, sacred groves, right? And such kind of crops are there, which are grown in the Koraput by the traditional people there. What you see here, the farming system, mixed farming system, indigenous varieties of crops and all, they are conserved there, right? Then again you can see here, next one is the Kutanad below sea level farming system. Kutanad below sea level, the backwaters of Kerala, Kutanad below sea level farming system in India. In 2013 it was declared there, and you can see here is a wetland agriculture system. Kutanad is a wetland agriculture system, and it favors rice cultivation below sea level, right? Below sea level rice cultivation, that is because of draining delta swamps in brackish water. It is a mosaic of fragmented agricultural landscape into three parts. There is a wetlands used for paddy activities, fish catching, and garden lands used for coconut, tubers and food crops plantation. And water areas are used as inland and shells and all this. That is a Kutanad, and you can see the album there, below sea level farming there. This is a very unique farming system in Kutanad, below sea level farming, what you can see here, right? And there was a question asked in the UPSC exam. Now if you see here, there was a question which was asked in UPSC exam, that is on GIHS. TEB questions were also asked. I have already discussed in the classroom there. TEB question, now look at here, this one. I am reading out the question that. This question was asked in prelims exam 2016. FAO accords the status of globally important agriculture heritage system. Right, now three statements are given. Right, three statements have been now given here. See, what is the statement here? To provide modern technology training in modern farming methods and financial support to local communities of identified GIHS to greatly enhance their agriculture productivity. That's statement number one. Second, to identify and safeguard eco-friendly traditional farm practices and their associated landscape and agriculture biodiversity and knowledge system of the local community. Third statement, to provide geographical indication status of all the agriculture produced in that area of GIHS. So now the question is that which of these above is correct? 1 and 3 only, 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. So what shall be the answer? What shall be the answer? This is the question about GIHS which was asked in the prelims exam in 2016. Same year TEB was also asked. So here the answer is 2 only. The correct answer is 2 only. B. B for Bombay. The main objective of GIHS is to identify and safeguard eco-friendly farm practices and their landscape with the traditional knowledge. This is the correct answer. 2 only. Right? GIHS has nothing to do with modern technology and training and modern farming method. Statement number 1 is wrong. And as also GI has nothing to do with GI, IPR, intellectual property rights, geographical indication status to varieties of crop. Statement number 3 is also wrong. The correct answer will be 2 only. That is the objective of GIHS. So answer is B, 2 only. So I am discussing the previous year questions so that you are comfortable of it. You are aware of this. Right? You are comfortable, you are aware of this. That's what I have taken the previous year question paper there, question in the classroom there. I hope it is clear here. This is a 2016 prelims question. Right? So now see the language, how the language is used in the prelims exam question, how the language is used in the question paper. This is the way UPSC will ask question. Today I am taking previous year questions just to make you comfortable with the type of pattern of the questions asked in the exam. Right? Is it clear here again? Now you have any doubt, you can ask me there. I hope you are able to understand that. You have any doubt, you can ask me. Right? So that is the way the UPSC will ask question in the examination. Now I am coming to, all of you copied the whiteboard. I think you all would have copied the whiteboard. Alright. So let me do again, if you have copied the whiteboard, I will clean the whiteboard. I am again coming back to the whiteboard. Let me clean the whiteboard. All what I have written on the whiteboard, right? All the explanation of this are given in the visionized material, but again you have to just copy this point and connect with the current aspect of that. Whatever you read from current aspect, you have to connect with that. Alright? You have any doubt, anything you want to ask? In 2016 I have taken 2 questions, TEB and GIHS. Right? Let me see if you have any doubt and question, I will just address that. Okay, I think I can see your chat box there, right? I hope up to this is clear here, whatever I have explained in the classroom. Ecosystem services. Now I have given you biodiversity values and connected with TEB, the economics of ecosystem and biodiversity. Then we have discussed the definition of biodiversity and also levels of biodiversity, genetic, species and community. Right? Now if you see here loss to biodiversity or threats to biodiversity, there is another topic called threats to biodiversity, loss to biodiversity part of measurement of biodiversity part, right? All these I will be that. No, you don't have to remember all the sacred groves. Siddharth, you don't have to remember all the sacred groves, right? Prey based, okay, Manu Chaudhary is giving that habitat point, but prey based, yeah, I agree with you, Manu, I agree with you. What is a prey base? The government will again resettle to other areas, but they are doing just a pilot basis. They just a experimental basis that they are looking into MP, but then they will relocate other areas also there. That's also true. What you are saying, I am agreeing with that. Manu, your saying is I am agreeing with that. That we can do other places also there. But actually the government want to first do a kind of a small level study by introducing the cheetah to that area, right? After that we will be looking to other habitats, other areas in the country. We'll go to other geographical areas of the country. All right. Now tell me, you all are comfortable? Are you all comfortable? I want to interact with all of you. That's what I have stopped now. Now, are you all comfortable now? Did you understand all the topics what I have covered in the classroom? I want your response. Those who have left, they have left. Right? They will never clear the exam. I know them. But all of you who are right now till by this time you are in the classroom. So for you people, I am asking question that this approach and whatever I am teaching there, I think you all are comfortable with that, right? And today I did this thing because I found that people are doing personal chat in the chat box, right? Interaction is all right, interaction with faculty is all right, but not the misuse of the chat box, right? That's what the moderation has been done there. Now tell me, you have anything to ask from me? The chat box is open. If you want to put across any aspect, I am all welcome to that. You don't have to remember all the names of sacred groups. What comes in current aspect, what comes in the current affairs, current aspect, there you have to follow. Monthly current affairs, then PT 365 will be held and given to you before the prelims exam next year. There you get that. All right, I'll just see that if you have doubt. All right. So there's no relevant query there. Manu Chaudhary, I agree with your part that prey base is less in MP, and that's the reason given for shifting tigers out of MP. That's right there. That's sometimes government also, they don't have very good expert to advise them. You are very right. I agree with your point. They're not much good advisor to the government on the environmental matters, so that government can do that. And I said that politics in India, center-state relation and all, you know that, right? But again, yes, this is done at a small scale, but again we will do that one. The government decided based on some kind of a preliminary study that which can be suitable habitat, and they go. But again we will expand on that. So if you don't have any question, have you all copied the whiteboard? Now my question to the classroom. You can respond to the chat box. Have you all copied this one? You have all copied the points there and this flowchart. Please go to the Vision IAS classroom study material. There you have in paragraphs explained all these areas. You'll find all of them there, right? Whatever the points I am giving comprehensive points as a part of your revision class notes. But again, you have to refer to the Vision IAS classroom study material, right? Is it clear here? I am just trying to give you an approach how to go about that by looking into previous year question paper, the language used in the question, how the language has been given in the question paper, that language part, so that you don't make blunder in the exam, right? At the same time, website, current aspect, all right? That's what I'm trying to help you out in the classroom there. I hope you all are comfortable, right? And you all are enjoying the class, right? So we'll stop the class here, and because already it's more than 8 o'clock, let us stop the class, and when we meet in the next class, we'll go for threats to biodiversity. Biodiversity topic will continue, loss to biodiversity, threats to biodiversity, biodiversity conservation, biodiversity mapping, measurement. We are going to learn a lot of new topics. There will be a lot of new topics will be there, and all this will be important for the exam. You'll be getting all this, and they all are important for the exams. So what I'll do here, since you all have copied it here, so I'm giving your assignment question here. The assignment question here is that discuss importance of TEB study of TEB for India. You have to write from Indian context. You have to answer in 150 to 200 words. You have to write about TEB in the context of India. 10 marks question here. Right? You have to answer the question, a subjective question, that we discuss the importance of TEB for India. How TEB study, the economics of ecosystem and biodiversity, will be beneficial for country like India. Right? You have to write from that, and you have to provide examples. Right? You have to discuss with examples. Right? You have to write in 150, 200 words and 10 marks question. All right. So we'll stop the class here, and I hope that you all have been able to understand whatever I taught in the classroom there, and you are able to follow it, part of it, right? So you can follow the part of the you can follow this one in your this one your visionized classroom study material is given everything there. This already been given there in that part of it. All right, it already has been given there, and you will be getting all this part of it. I know that I'm keeping you till 8 o'clock and more than 8 o'clock, but then again I wanted to teach a lot, right? But I know that your batch is the new batch. You won't be able to take too much of that side. So that's what I've stopped at 8 o'clock now. I am stopping here, right? But please study that. Next class, again we'll continue with biodiversity topics, right? And I wish you all, right, happy Eid. सभी को ईद मुबारक, ठीक है? ईद इज़ द होली फेस्टिवल, सो सभी को ईद मुबारक, ठीक है? Keep yourself safe, stay healthy, right, and maintain social distancing, right, and again at the same time, you know, enjoy the festival there, right? So Eid Mubarak to everyone, and be safe, be healthy, and stay home, and you keep on preparing for the UPSC exam. All right, keep on preparing for a UPSC exam, and I'm very sure you all are very good students. At day one, I'm saying that you all students are very, very good, and you all can crack the UPSC exam, right? Whatever the direction I am providing there, just go into that one, and you will qualify the exam. All right. So, thank you everyone, and very good night. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.